What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Sunday Night Spotlight brought to you by Wrestling Republic. I'm Clark Taylor, and if you're confused, because I haven't been here in a while, I assure you the regular crew is hanging out with me on this Sunday, and I'm stoked to be back on this show. Doing double duty today, call it triple duty, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to toot my own horn when it comes to that. We're here to spotlight the best of this week and then highlight the best of this week. And if we're going to do that, we need the GOAT herself out in New York City. Megan, what is going on today? How are you, my
Hey,
friend? It's been far too long.
yes, it's been a while since I have done a show with you two together. Um, but I'm good. The weather is kind of shoddy here in the city, so I have just been trying to stay above by staying well. But if you hear some snifflings, trust me, I'm not partying. I'm sick.
Absolute respect, Megan. I totally get it. It is that season, no doubt about it. Speaking of seasons and speaking of shoddy, we've got in the DMV shoddy surprise.
I thought you
Surprise
was. I thought.
running
I thought
today,
she
the
was.
Tuesday night delight.
I thought she was talking about me for a second. Uh, I'm good, man. I'm here, as y'all can see. The Kelly Greens intact today. The Eagles won. We had our foots, and I don't care. I'm sorry, man. We had our foots so far up the Cincinnati's behind Bengals behinds today. We was wearing them like some slippers, some tiger slippers on the feet for y'all. Oh my goodness. Let's change the color of the spotlight. Why is it orange and black? It should be black and green because it's fly Eagles fly.
Uh,
Jalen Hurts, have yourself a day, young man.
the way the Bengals looked today, you're dang right about that orange and black. Thank goodness they wore the white alternate uniforms. Otherwise, we
Clean,
may have
clean,
had to change
clean
the colors of the
jerseys.
show.
Clean jerseys. I'm not gonna lie.
They were clean unis. I mean, I've got Burrow and Chase on my fantasy team in the Wrestling Republic League. Not a good look today. Not a good
Oh
look
wow.
today.
Oh, Drizzy's gonna be on spot. He's gonna be on a post show today. I'm gonna talk cash stuff to him because I'm currently beating him down in
No,
fantasy
you're beating the
football
brakes
too.
off, Drizzy. Thankfully, I am still projected to beat Chaos. But let's get into Sunday Spotlight. Let's it's a Sunday. We could talk football all day. Don't get me wrong. It is a football Sunday, but more importantly, it's a Spotlight Sunday. And I got to do one reluctantly here.
Let's do
I'm
it.
going to go first out of the gates. That's because Ben did the order here. That wasn't my choice. I want everyone to know that, even though I'm doing the camera cuts on this show. But I'm gonna have to, unfortunately, as a Chicagan myself, spotlight the city of Detroit. Not specifically just the city of Detroit, but the Motor City Machine Guns. We saw an excellent TNA pay-per-view from Detroit this weekend. And they were missing the Kings of Detroit because they performed Friday night. And that's the Motor City Machine Guns. Your new tag team champs, working double duty. Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, two guys that have deserved this for so long, been in this industry for so long, two of the best to never reach mountaintops at the WWE. When you think about tag team wrestling and you don't mention the Motor City Machine Guns since arguably the year 2000, you're missing a team that is that good. And like I said, I'm a Chicagan. Deep dish pizza is ours. But for today, I'll have some Detroit style because Motor City Machine Guns deserve their flowers. They're my spotlight of the week. And what's so cool about it to me is that this team, with all they've given to pro wrestling, broken up, singles runs, all the accomplishments, the one stone unturned was WWE. And in essentially their first real shot, they wrestled twice. There's nothing more MCMG than that. And I love that about them. And so, yes, I want to spotlight them this week. What are y'all's thoughts on that, Shad? I mean, you're a longtime TNA fan, and then Megan, I got to
Yeah.
ask you as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, it is refreshing to see them get the red carpet treatment debuting in the WWE. If you're a pro wrestling fan, you know that these two gentlemen are in the same breath as people like the Young Bucks when it talks about some of the best tag team wrestlers in our sport. You know, one of the best newer generation tag teams. And I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of what we see of our tag teams, they copied a lot of what those guys do stylistically. But I mean, you look at the accolades, they've won gold in so many different promotions from a TNA, you know, from the indie circuit. There's a long list that I would have to I have to look up and see. It was like 8 or 10 different tag team titles that they won. And it's well deserving, man. You know, say what you want to say. I know the WWE isn't the end all be all for all professional wrestlers, but you'd be foolish if you couldn't understand a professional wrestler's mindset wanting to go to the WWE as a dream. Just, you know, growing up and succeeding everywhere but there. And them doing that out the gate within a couple weeks of being here on the job, that makes them important. And it's well deserved, like you said. They are that damn important to win these titles. This isn't just some random team that we called up from NXT or something, or some, like, you know, random team that they're trying to force feed us. These are guys who are established, and
Yep.
I think Ben made it very made a great comparison. It's like the AJ Styles when he debuted in WWE.
It was me that said that one.
Yeah, what you said it. I read it
Yeah.
on.
No, not to like take away from Ben, but I actually was the one that said that on that show.
To you, that's a hell of a comparison. I feel like it is a similar you know, build up for it. And it's, yeah, man, it's great to see. And it's like you said, I think you even said this too. It's the shot in the arm that the tag team division needs.
Yep.
Because if you want to bring some more seriousness to it, hey man, them two dudes, Motor City Machine Gun, Shelly and them, they definitely are the perfect guys to be the flag holders.
That was my thought exactly on it. Is like, I've been so critical of the tag division, right? But they're out there and they just immediately injected it into the WWE, and you saw it night one, 2 defenses in one night. Like, they
Dude,
win and then defend.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. If you would have told me in this calendar year that Gorillas of Destiny and then Motor City Machine Guns would be back-to-back WWE Tag Team Champions, you told me this like 5 years ago, I would not believe you. But
I'd laughed in your face.
we're here today with it, right?
Yeah, like, what? You must be joking. You're making things up. Megan, I got to get your thoughts on it. Obviously, the move over from TNA. I mean, TNA was in Detroit is the irony to me. And to
Right.
see the Motor City, Detroit being the Motor City Machine Guns, Friday night, arguably their highest moment in the industry, is pretty fascinating. What were your thoughts on it?
You know, I thought it was a beautiful moment for them. I think the minute we realized that the Bloodline was going to defend their titles the same night, they was definitely going to lose it. Couldn't have happened to a better tag team. I'm extremely happy for them, and you know, and I know for those who are probably more familiar with their careers and have followed their careers, is definitely ecstatic. Um, Not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but you know, I still feel for the Street Profits.
I would agree with that,
I'm
Megan.
feeling for my boys, you know.
That is
but
one of those
Yeah.
teams that I think the staying power is the most impressive thing about the Street Profits, because there have been so many whispers about singles runs and things like that.
I'm thinking that we're seeing that with
Out.
Montez having his single interview, and um, just the videos that they have been sharing lately. You could tell like there's a buildup that is happening between them, and you know, I don't know what what that says about Dawkins, because I feel like Dawkins is just as good as
I
Montez,
know.
and he can have a
Both
singles run
talented.
too.
Here's
But I mean, I see it like how I see Private Party.
Megan. I can
You
go on a
know,
Dawkins rant though, because to your point about him, he's changed his body.
Hmm.
That
yeah,
was the complaint out of the gates. Was like,
yeah,
oh well, Montez is the star, right? You have the muscle and the star, but Dawkins has changed his body and is still the muscle. And
Yeah,
right,
he's still great, and he's still great in the ring, and he continues to
hell of a
improve.
worker.
And there's something to the loyalty between the two that I almost feel like it's very similar to, and we're about to potentially see the New Day clash for the first time in what would be over a decade.
yeah,
But it's similar to that situation where I do not mind either one having a singles run,
yeah,
Dawkins or Ford. What I do not want is for them to turn on each other. It's one of the few tag teams, and I have to give the Street Profits credit for this, in my lifetime that I do not want to see wrestle each other. It makes
Yeah,
no sense to me. It
because they're
wouldn't add up.
brothers.
I don't want to see it. It's not a story I want to see be told. It doesn't make sense.
I
but
agree.
And that includes the
but
Usos,
you know, but you
who I
know,
wanted to see
but you know
wrestle.
that's bound to happen at some point.
That's what I'm
It's
afraid
It,
of.
yeah.
I
Go
we
think
ahead, go
gotta.
ahead.
possibly we
I
could
gotta
avoid
see.
it.
I would have to see how they position it and how the characters look before I can say I want to see it. Like you said, I think I'm just so to the point where the only way it would work is if Montez goes heel, and I don't think Montez can. I can't see Dawkins as a heel. Just can't see him as a heel.
No, it
I
will
think
have to be
he's just
Montez.
a he's like a very likable guy. It don't work like that. But Montez is better as a baby face too. So it is one of those things I'm interested. To your point though, Megan, I will say this: maybe a new people in the tag division can kind of
Yeah,
reheat the Street Profits up a little bit because we've been seeing them wrestle Usos a billion times. Like it's just been kind of the same matchups. So maybe some new people that are kind of built up, like Motor City Machine Guns, like DIY,
yeah,
on SmackDown, that makes it a little new. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
absolutely. And like I said, I don't want to take away the celebration from Motor City Machine Guns because
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is well deserved and this is a long time coming. Just like with the Hardys winning the tag
no
team
question.
titles last night. Um, so I would
Sure.
I would love to see it. I saw it looked like there was something that they was trying to build between the Street Profits and DIY. Um, I guess I could kind of see why they didn't necessarily give the titles to the Street Profits because they already had in mind who was going to get the titles, and it would have probably been an uproar. The same
Hmm.
way it
Yeah,
has been for Jay losing his title after
It's a
three
good
weeks.
point. It's a good
That
great
was
point.
point. That
that was
is a
that was
great
disgusting.
point.
Okay,
Now, I
they
will
could
say
have.
this.
You
I
could have
do
built.
think I do
Go
think
ahead.
I do think long run, it's not as much about Jay as it is about Jimmy him losing the title. We can have
Mhm.
that conversation later because we could probably talk about the rest of the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I do think that the reason that Jay lost the title at this stage is because of Jimmy. Not that it's Jimmy's fault, but just that we haven't seen Jimmy's side of the story to the extent
Hmm.
that we should. That would be that those are my okay. This is
I'm
the
processing
worst segue of my career, Megan, because I really do want to go into your spotlight segment, which is way more important and much more deserved. Megan, you're spotlighting someone that deserves the spotlight, and whether it's the last time we talk about her in the context of wrestling or not, this isn't the last time we talk about Samantha Irvin. I know that all-time performer, all-time deserved, left the WWE this week on her own accord. Talk to me about Samantha Irvin, Megan.
Yeah, I mean, I was just as stunned as everyone else when we saw her announcement, and this is someone that I had the pleasure to meet. I've spoken to her several times online and stuff, and she is possibly one of the nicest people you could ever meet. And so for her leaving was definitely it stung a little in our hearts. It stung because she can possibly and will possibly go down as one of the greatest ring announcers of all time. Um, I think what necessarily kind of irritated me about the whole situation is the fact that, and maybe even I'm a little guilty of it, but it was in the sense of jokes, nothing seriously to be taken. Um, it's that Ricochet got all of this hate because of her deciding to step away. And I knew people automatically would assume that she was going to AEW, which, um, you know, I can see why that would necessarily be the first thought on people's mind. But I think if you really have been paying attention to the content that she have been putting out in the last couple of months, she has really been promoting her music past, her history, her music career a lot. And I think that was her way in kind of showing people that that's a side of her career that she misses. And hindsight is always 2020, but I think if you look back, you could kind of see, you know, what may have stemmed from this decision. Another thing that kind of drove me a little off the wall was the idea that she responded to a troll. And now all of these websites and content creators are all having these um intense opinions about her wanting to be a manager and not liking being a ring announcer and stuff. And I'm looking at all of the discord, all of the discussions, all of the
Mhm.
tweets and stuff, and I couldn't help but think like I understand that sarcasm doesn't always, translate
Land over text.
online, but how could you not see that she was trolling a troll? How could you not see that?
Uh,
I mean, this is a
Megan,
troll.
I can't agree with you more.
I,
I
I
mean,
just
honest
don't
to
understand.
goodness, when I look at this situation, it's wild to me. It's
Hmm.
wild to me that we have someone as talented as Samantha Irvin, and she has made the decision,
Right.
career wise, to pursue other endeavors outside of pro wrestling. Not that she's not loyal to pro wrestling, not that she doesn't care about it. We're cool with The Rock, cool with
Hmm.
Cena, we're cool with plenty of people that have worked elsewhere and made that decision. First, the narrative is it's Ricochet's fault.
Mhm.
And second, and so we're just going to invalidate her talent. We're just going to invalidate Samantha Irvin as a performer as a whole,
And
knowing how
also,
good she is, knowing how appreciative we are. That's
Right.
your
mhm,
response to it, is that we need someone to point the finger at. We need
Yeah.
somebody to that is so silly to me and so frustrating to me, because on the way out of professional wrestling temporarily, because everyone who watches wrestling like us three do knows the saying is always, I'll see you down the road.
yeah,
Hmm.
That is always the saying. The fact that the initial response is like, why could you, how could you, where are you,
Yeah.
stop it, stop it.
Yeah.
Guess what, fans on X? You don't work for the WWE. They,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they, you don't. They don't. Besides them, appreciating you paying money to watch their shows live,
Hmm.
buying merchandise, all of that, they don't give a flying F about what you got to say online about it. And I just wanted to say this to your point, both of y'all's points, because both of y'all made amazing points on this topic. And it's been a topic that's annoyed me all yesterday because
Yeah.
why even say this, right? Say she's responding to a troll, but let's say she means what she said yesterday in that comment, right?
Right.
Are we immune as people to not enjoy a job but be good at our job? No, if I am, the star person at my office 9 to 5 job, killing it exactly, but I hate it, but I'm really good at it, amazing at it, and I decide to leave to do something else, no one would bat an eye. The only reason people have a smidget of issues with it is because she's, I don't know, a celebrity, or because wrestling fans are just toxic online. But if that is the reason for having it, I have no problem with her expressing that and wanting to do something else at the end of the day. I don't think she necessarily has issues with WWE, but people are really like taking it to a whole different direction that it doesn't need to be. A person can feel how they want to feel about any situation at hand. And then what you were saying, Clark, bruh, the the Ricochet stuff, right? That's their household, dog. Why the hell y'all care about what thing's going on with their
Yeah,
marriage?
man.
People make these type of conversations all the time. My wife and I make conversations about work and make decisions about work all the time. This is their household. She even said in the comment, "My husband's a millionaire. I don't need to work if I don't want to work." And that's perfectly fine. They're perfectly
That
good
is.
financially. Like, y'all need to get the hell off her back. She's gonna do what the hell she wants to do. People are just tripping, man.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and I think that's why, I thought like if you read it, she's never really came after a troll like that before. So I would figure that if you, I mean, I understand people think, okay, you left the job, now you're going to bash the job. I don't read her as being that type of person.
Not
For
at
sure.
all.
And you have Cody, the face, um, who's even saying that, she left on good terms with us and the door is always open for her to come back, So,
Mm-hmm.
if you think he's going to say that and then she's going to bash the company, it's like you have
But
to use
but
critical
Okay,
thinking.
this
but
is something
even but
interesting.
even to what she
Go
did
ahead.
say though, I didn't even look at it as bashing. That's just the like I can understand why WWE look. You hire people, and if they're excelling at it, you keep it at that. If it's not broke, you don't try to fix it, right? So they saw her excelling as a commentator, and they're like, "Hey,
Right.
we see you doing that. This is where we find you suited best for it. We don't think being an on-screen character, whether she would have succeeded on it or not, that's perfectly fine for them saying that, and her saying, "Okay, I have different goals and aspirations than just announcing." That's perfectly fine. I don't think anybody's at fault on either side, and it was a mutual departure. I know it sucks. I love Samantha Irvin. I've been on record saying she may be one of the goats since what, maybe like Finkel, right? Maybe up there with Lillian Garcia, in my opinion. I like her a little better than
So,
Lillian
okay,
Garcia.
honestly, not even to cut you off there, Shad, but that was kind of the point I was going to bring up. Is Lillian Garcia got invoked in a lot of this,
Oh
and
yeah.
Lillian Garcia was in an entirely different situation. Yes, there are a lot of similarities. They are both very talented singers,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
very much so. Absolutely right. They're both very talented ring announcers. They're both women. That's where the similarities end, and the
Yeah.
circumstances are different. And the way the comparison was made to Lillian Garcia and what she achieved in not only professional wrestling but combat sports, singing, in
A lot
music,
of stuff.
in
Yeah.
all of that. Same with Samantha Irvin, both capable. And to then bring that around and start making it about uh, people that aren't even involved was so silly goose to me.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? This is like,
Right.
And we
why?
should be happy that she's returned back to wrestling too. Like, just enjoy the talent
Yeah.
and what they do, bro. Like, that's all I can really say. Like, there's so many talented, like, and they have so many talented announcers on their in their roster. People will try to, like, people like are talking trash about Alicia Taylor too, right? And
Yeah.
we've been watching Alicia Taylor for the last like the last year plus together on NXT, doing the review shows. She's hella talented, and she's different than Samantha Irvin, but she's still a great. Mike Rome is the same thing too, man. He's a great guy as
Yeah.
well. And even like it's so crazy. People are like even going into the idea of her going to AEW saying, "Oh, Justin Roberts should get fired so they can open up for her." Like, bro, y'all need to like just calm down. Like, we're doing way too much right now.
Okay,
Right.
Shad. Honestly, while we're all riled up, I do actually want to move it to your next,
Yeah.
to your spotlight, because let's stay on that energy and talk to me about
yeah.
AJ Francis, dude. Like,
Look, man.
you are our resident battle rapper. He's wrestling's resident rapper.
Oh no, he
Battle-ish.
is a battle rapper now. And this is why I find it very important that we finally got to do one of these episodes. We've had so many great interviews on Spotlight. If you haven't watched them, watch it. That's just a shameless plug right there. But yeah, I gotta spotlight AJ Francis, bro, because I made a tweet a couple weeks ago, and I said, if there is one professional wrestler in the landscape of pro wrestling that is bridging the gap between hip hop and wrestling, it is AJ Francis. So let me give you a little bit of a history lesson on this real quick. There is a legendary battle rapper by the name of DNA who also does a wrestling podcast called the Attitude Era Podcast. And DNA hosts these cards where it's battle rappers and they strictly do battles using professional wrestling references. If you know me, I use a lot of professional wrestling references myself, so it's a very common thing, but it's so fun and innovative. People dress up as cosplayers, wrestlers too in it, right? Like we just had Lady Caution dress up as Sting in her last battle. You know, she was Kane the event before. And AJ Francis, a professional wrestler and a music artist, stepped into the world of battle rap, and he battled one of the more talented, dangerous battle rappers, a Christian battle rapper named The Saga. And AJ Francis opened up with a super haymaker, and he had a very, very strong performance in a battle versus a battle rapper. And that alone just makes me want to spotlight AJ Francis because that's so dope, bro. Like these battle rappers are big fans, man. We had Trick Williams come to an event. Samoa Joe came to an event one time. Javon Evans. Like there's so many people that love the art of battle rap. And I always say it, battle rap and professional wrestling are so similar in a ways, right? I used to help run a battle league called Showtime Battle Arena, and it's literally like an independent scene, right? You run these indie scenes, these small leagues, and you hope that you can get on a URL, which is like a WWE, or a King of the Dot, which is like an AEW. And I just, once I kind of got into podcasting, I seen the parallels, and just seeing AJ Francis kind of see that. He's also brought battle rappers to events with him at House of Glory. DNA, Tay-Rock, all of them were at the events with him. And man, that alone just means a lot. You know, you got people like Westside Gun, who runs the whole fourth rope thing as well, doing a card. Like this really blends two worlds that I love together. Gotta also just shout out to his work on TNA, you know, doing a great job with his feud with Joe Hendry prior to it, being the digital champion. Like, this is a guy, after getting released by WWE, I feel like took heed and just ran the distance, bro. Ran the distances, really innovated, created himself. He's doing like storylines with content creators, you know, Brandon, BDE. He's about to wrestle him. He wrestled my boy Muscle Malcolm as well. Like the dude is just thinking ahead, and he's thinking like how I would compare AJ Francis in the current juncture of what he's doing in TNA and Independence. It's just like what Matt Cardona was doing a couple years ago. The same thing in a different way.
Genuinely, I gotta like not to cut you off, Shotty, but like I'm so blown away because like you knowing your experience in battle rap, for you to put the stamp on what he did, that opening bar and all of that is a big deal, right? I know that, man. Like for you to be like, no, this was legit. And on top of that, the work that he's done to overcome, this is the guy that was in a position before he ever stepped foot in a WWE ring, even one time, where he was hosting the Unfindable Treasures show and doing it well. This is a guy that can wear multiple hats in a positive way, right? He can host a show. He can He's charismatic. He's figured out the wrestling thing. People made fun of a few botches over on SmackDown during an era that made no sense, and it is silly as all silly. It is goofy as a football bat. Like, no reason. There were mistakes, but you're looking at a guy that's so talented in the way he's executed upon his exit from the company.
Yeah,
man.
Bro, it shows you, man, like the people who succeed the most are the ones who are forward thinking, and he's thinking ahead of the grain, thinking different ways to get stuff done. You know, this is a guy who's multi-talented, just like Samantha Irvin. He was a NFL player,
Right.
a good long NFL career, like 6-7 years. Guys don't last that long in the NFL, just to let you know,
No.
right? Got out.
Ask Baron Corbin, 2 years. Ask Gable Steveson, 1.
Ask Roman Reigns.
Ask Roman Reigns.
Ask Bill
Ask
Goldberg.
The Rock.
Ask Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
He's got a better NFL career than all of them.
By a lot. Combined.
By a lot. He was an actual, like, rotational player who played on many teams, man.
Legitimately played.
Yeah, like, and still has connections with a lot of NFL players too. So, you know me, bro. I'm all about giving flowers to people while they're here. And that's someone I would be honored if he would ever be on our show for an interview. Like, that's a dream interview of mine, man. Because I think the dude is just super talented, man. And I'm not saying that because he looks like me.
No, I respect him, no doubt. I mean, even DC Warlord, friend of the show, commented most wanted treasures. Yes, thank you, my bad. Thank you. That is the show that he was the host of, and I thought it was excellent.
Salute to my bro, Jordan. He said Corbin was 3 years.
I meant to show that earlier. I apologize. And then not only that, at the top, he had a great one. My boy Shoddy, and then Bird Gang now on to the Jets. 5 for first in the NFC.
He's a big Cardinals fan, man.
Arizona?
Yeah. He's from Arizona, man. He good dude.
Love that. Thank you for tuning in. Of course. Let's get on to some highlights, or maybe highlights. I'm not totally sure. Megan, I'm going to start with you. Do you have a low light or a highlight of the week?
Word of the weekend.
Well, it all depends on who you're asking. But if you're asking me, it wasn't necessarily a highlight. And well, my highlight, low light for this week is the Sports Illustrated top 20 wrestlers list. There was a lot of things wrong with it, and I'm not going to bash Sports Illustrated all too much because, you know, I do know a person or two that works there, and they may have had a part in making that list. So this is not to you directly, if you see this. But the list was trash. It was trash. Honestly, I think it probably went more so by popularity than actual talent, because when I saw that Chris Jericho ranked higher than Mick Foley, I was over it. I was over it. And to see that there was only one woman's wrestler on the list, and it was Becky, and she was number 20, I thought, who made this list? Because we need a redo. We need it to be redone. But I've seen a lot of people disagree. I've seen a lot of people upset that Ric Flair wasn't on it, which I thought, feel how you feel about Ric Flair, but as a wrestler, he should have been on the top 20 greatest wrestlers of all time. Absolutely. And for him not to have been on that list, you're telling me that you're not really taking into account all of the past wrestlers who have built the house that our favorite wrestlers are now working in, and to not have him on the list is kind of like not acknowledging the things that the Nature Boy has created. Yep. So, as Sports Illustrated, y'all got to do better. Y'all got
I'm
to
with
do
you.
better.
I will say this though, Megan. I'm actually going to take the time to bash directly Sports Illustrated
All right.
because not only are you 100% in the right, but I've owed them a receipt for my entire life. My
Okay.
mother was on the cover of that dang magazine in the early 80s. Texas Tech. The Red Raider horse used to ride around the track after they'd score. A member of the band's cowboy hat flew off onto the track. My mother went to pick it up. They kicked the field goal. The horse ran through my mom. It broke her femur, concussion, broken wrist, the whole nine. She's on the cover, and in the middle of the magazine, the big article, they list the rider of the horse, the name of the horse, which the horse did die. And they called my sweet mother an SMU cheerleader. Stop it. She was the captain of the pom pom squad. She was on the dance team. It's two different teams. SI. I've owed you one for years, and thankfully Megan served me up the curveball. I needed to knock it out of the park. I've owed SI one for years, a receipt on behalf of my mama. Lori Taylor could have written the name. Lori Harjo at the time, but you could have written the name SI. That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
You could have written the name. And that's why the list is messed up too. It's probably the same people just passing it down through generations.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna be real. I'm quiet on this because salute to my dog SP3. I think he made the list, and I haven't honestly, truth be told, I haven't looked at the list, so I don't know what's on it or whatnot. But salute to SP3.
I'm just saying.
I mean, it's just, I mean, if we want to stick to one particular subject, there's way too many women that have wrestled that are gone now. I mean, there's a lot that's still alive, but there are a few that are now gone who should have been on that list. China should have been on that list. However you feel about Fabulous Moolah, she should have been on that list. Mae Young, she should have been on that list. But you put Becky.
There's a few more.
Becky is the GOAT, though.
Becky, the greatest women's wrestler of all time.
I think she is.
Of all time.
Yeah, she is. I think I'm not lying to you. I think she's the GOAT.
You couldn't
really?
That's what I'm saying. There's not one woman that you would say, okay, she might be a tad bit better than Becky. There has to be one.
Maybe, I mean, if we're talking a total package, nah, I don't. I truthfully don't.
Clark, I don't believe him.
Yeah, there's some definite.
Becky, my homie, man. We met each other. You know what I'm
Becky's
talking about?
Great.
We talked.
Becky's
I got a
great,
book signed by her back behind me. Yeah, she's the greatest of all time. You talking about talk about storytelling, talk about accomplishments. You talking promo work, all of that. She's the greatest of all time.
Clark, I think I found.
We could do a 2-hour show.
I think we got to take it to the table.
I think Bianca Belair is gonna overpass her.
There's chaos. We might have to take this to the table.
We're gonna have to take this to the table. I can't let you. I can't let you up on this shot.
To me, I think Bianca is gonna overpass her. I think I'm talking about just accomplishments and everything in totality. If you're talking about the most talented women's wrestler of all time, it's Bianca Belair, without a doubt.
But I'm just saying, like, I mean, look, Bianca started.
But they were talking about like Becky when she was the star power. She was the top person on WWE. And she was a woman.
This is true, but do I feel like of a list of greatest of all time, and ignoring all of those that have wrestled for decades before Becky was alive?
I'm also I don't know much. I can't speak on like Fabulous Moolah. I'm not as privy to him because I'm a young
I'm
old
really
man.
mad that Drizzy's not here because I'm blanking on the girl that sold out Kemper Arena in Kansas City.
But I would put, to me, Becky, the closest one would probably be like Trish Stratus could be in the convo.
I'm surprised she wasn't even on the list. I mean, Trish, Lita, Ashley.
Honestly, Victoria.
Victoria. I mean,
He's
like,
better than Victoria. Come on.
No, but
you see?
if you put Victoria in today's day and age,
No, Victoria, like 2002 Victoria, she would
yeah.
have washed Becky up.
Bobby
She
added
would've-
Mickey James.
she
Mickey
would've-
James should have been on that
James
list.
is solid.
But Mickey James had to play terrible roles.
I think
and was outstanding through his whole career.
Because I think the four horsewomen, like they set the tone for what women's wrestling should be for WWE.
Becky Lynch one
Becky's
is just wild to me. It's like that just that's the only thing for me. Is like it's just wild.
For her to be the last on the list, it felt like 19 guys, we don't have a woman. Becky.
I gotta look at. I gotta look at the whole list. So I'm just speaking about Becky being the best woman. I'm not saying that. Now I would have her higher than 20 or not on the list. I'd probably have her in the top 15.
Well, that's why I said, look, I give you enough time to look
12.
at the list, and then we'll take it to the table.
Sean
you still
Ellis,
feel the same way.
And I appreciate him not using all the letters, but did say some Moolah was that bad. His father was a pro wrestler, and so he said that I do love that comment.
I'm sad now.
No, we're here for healthy discussion.
Yes, me and Sha, we agree on a lot of things. Like we are literally two bodies, one brain. We agree on a lot of stuff.
Okay, by the way,
DC Warlord, you just naming anybody now, bro.
This is comedy relief. Wait, what?
Come on, bro.
We're not talking about social media.
This man talking about I'm biased over Becky, but you gonna name Michelle McCool. Get the hell out of here, bro. No, I like you. I respect your comments on a weekly show, but don't be coming on me on some personal attack shit like that and then name Michelle McCool. Get the hell out of here, dog. I don't cut up on commenters, but when you try to talk to me like that and then you come with Michelle McCool, McCool, get out of here.
Okay,
I should shadow ban you. Do that.
We got to go to your highlight of the week, Sean.
Michelle McCool.
And it's not that. It's not Michelle McCool. I know that your highlight's not Michelle McCool.
You know what? My highlight of the week is a women's wrestling match, and that is the match that I saw last night. Man, TNA. Y'all was cooking last night, but you cooked the classic. And we're going at the end of this year. We're talking about match of the year contenders. I think we got one. Masha Slamovich versus Jordan Grace. Give these women a round of applause because that was a hell of a match. Incredible bout. So many good spots. Such great storytelling. Salute to the bro Archie, giving it a 5 stars because that is correct. These two women have had 2 classics against each other. And I know Jordan Grace is potentially jumping fence to the WWE. I got to see him run it back one more time before she does do that. Because their chemistry is ungodly. They had a hell of a bout and an incredible moment for Masha Slamovich. One of the most talented women's wrestlers right now in professional wrestling. My goodness, bro. I got to say this. It's so cool to see TNA, how they have a passing of a guard. I feel like Deanna was one of the top women in the world when she was running the knockouts. We went to Jordan Grace. I think the baton is now going to go to Masha. I think she's about to take over next year and the end of this year. So salute to them. That is my highlight of the week. And salute to Jordan Grace, who is having a hell of a year herself. A classic legendary knockouts title reign, man. Salute to that woman.
Let's go. I like it. I'm all with it. I mean, honestly, we watched TNA last night together. So
you went from Deonna to Jordan, and we just going to ignore Trinity's reign.
Yeah, whoa.
That's true. Trinity. Well, Trinity was here for a cup of coffee.
It was a good cup, though. It was an iced coffee.
It was an amazing cup. Then I got to talk about Mia Yim there, too. She was there for a cup of coffee and did some great stuff, too.
I don't know. That might be a macchiato.
Look, that
Caramel.
ain't no disrespect to Trinity. I was on record on a podcast when she signed there. I said this is a needle mover, and the people completely killed me in the comments about it. They're like, she's not a needle. No, she was a needle mover.
She
And
was.
it was a big thing. Is this? It was a big loss in theory too, because I feel like the knockouts is very thin at the moment, right?
Right.
So a lot. If Jordan Grace, obviously everything is rumor based, right? But if she does leave TNA and goes to the WWE, Masha is gonna have to carry that division on her back against a lot thinner of a group of. They really got to build some of these women up in the knock, and I think they can. I think they can. I saw some very talented women wrestle last night. I think your girl Ash by Elegance is doing some good stuff. So look to Ash.
But you know what? The difference between um Diona and Trinity's reign compared to Jordan is that now you have welcomed the possibility of having more women by
Yes.
inviting the NXT wrestlers on there now. And I think with Masha now being the new knockout champion, we could really see her go up against someone like a Sol Ruka or a
Yeah.
Wendy, or
Yeah.
a Tatum,
Well,
like
after last night, Wendy, right?
yeah,
She could.
Definitely going on a
it was a
singles
good
run.
match. Yeah,
Rosemary turn on her.
yeah.
But I
So
don't like
she'll
Wendy
be.
Chu. She kidnapped Tatum Paxley, so she can go to jail.
Yeah, we don't know what happened to her.
Yeah, bro. We arresting Lil Durk, but we not arresting Wendy Chu. Get out of here, bro.
Okay, by
Oh
the
my
way, this
god.
cracked me up. DC Warlord, I just learned this recently,
My
said
bad.
Heather by Elegance. I
Yeah,
just
the
learned this.
reckless.
We have all Americans. Heather in the UK is Karen in the US.
Oh,
So that's
she's
Karen
elegant.
by Elegance. Kind of funny.
By
Got
the
to give him
way,
credit. But I
you-
just learned that. I want everyone to know I just learned it.
friend of the show, Mr.
Yes, friend
Kate.
of the show, Mr. Kate. Awesome
Get her
shout
in
out.
a knockouts. That'd be nice. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. We've spent a lot of time on the women's division, and I know I'm up last as far as highlights of the week.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna highlight a dude. I hate to admit it, but I'm
You
gonna give you guys
sexist.
all like a heads
You
up.
sexist.
I decided well before the show. I
I'm
didn't
messing
know
with
that
you.
that was the route we were all going. I'm highlighting Nick Nemeth, and I think he deserves it. And you know why? Because for a long time we talked about how like great the moment was with the cash in and winning the world title, but how he kind of got cheaped out on his career in WWE and how great he was at selling moves, how good he was in rivalries, how excellent he was on the microphone, how perfect he was for pro wrestling and all of that. What he's done with leaving the WWE at this stage of his career was not pack it in and say, oh, I'm just going to be fine with what I accomplished and come back on a Legends deal. No, he went out and he's been hosting Busted Open radio over on SiriusXM multiple times a week, and he's freaking great on that show. He's continuing to do stand-up comedy. He's working with his brother. Oh, yeah. And he's the TNA heavyweight champion. And he went and he retained the title in an excellent match last night. Once again, to take something that isn't great after being somewhere for so long and turn it into something positive, to me, is worth highlighting. And Nick Nemeth deserves it. He's done an awesome job, and I really respect it. I really do. I think it's really cool what he's accomplished, and I can't wait to see what he does from here. No doubt about it. I mean, it's guys, the TNA World Champ. I don't see that belt being taken for very long.
Legend, man, legend, bro. This guy is a legend. One of the most underrated dudes in his era on the WWE. I feel like they never capture. Like honestly, bro, I really thought Dolph could have been like HBK. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he
Yeah.
had a little bit of HBK in his prime years, and they never, really honed into him, bro. Like the dude is, and he's like what 40 something now. He's still talent. We talk about like people like Copeland. We talk about people like Christian. Nemeth he's fairly young in a sense, but like he's a vet in it, and he's even better now, dog. I
So
think
true.
I think this might be some of the best stuff he's done post WWE. Like he's won so many belts outside, in New Japan, now in TNA, in the
I'm also,
Indies.
to your point, I'm blown away by the work rate
Yeah,
because a lot of people, when they exit a situation like he was in, where he was so
he's
relevant with
44.
WWE, and he was on, right, Ms. and Mrs. too,
Mhm.
right? He's doing multiple things at WWE. A lot of people might want to take a bit of a break, take the take the foot off the pedal, for lack of a better way to put it, right?
Right.
Just
Yeah.
like let the gas ease off the gas. No, he put it back down and went. He's hosting Busted Open multiple. He's got a Sirius XM deal and a TNA deal,
Mhm.
and he's working stand-up shows. Like the guy is
He's having fun, man.
it's really impressive to me, and I think he deserves his flowers for it, for sure.
I agree.
Okay.
I'm a big Nick Nemeth. I met Nick Nemeth too, and I talked to him for a little bit out in Richmond. You know, really down to earth, cool dude, man. And what he told me, man, is that like, yo, I'm having fun, bro. He's like, I don't need to do this, but I'm just having fun. He's like, I like being able to do stuff on my own accord. I like at this point,
Right.
it's refreshing. And this was like right when a little bit ago, like maybe 60 days, 90 days after he got released. So,
He's
good
putting
for
an
him.
independent contractor, no question about it. And I respect that immensely. That does bring us to the end of the show today, though. It's been a blast. Every Sunday, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next Sunday, same time, same place. Maybe live, maybe not. Maybe it'll be an interview. That's the great thing about Spotlight. You don't know,
We got a special interview next week,
but it will
we'll
be
break
same
that
time,
down.
same place when you can watch
Yeah.
it. That's the coolest part. Daily broadcast. We got all kinds of other things going. You need to check out everything that Shad and Megan are doing if you aren't already following on Twitter and X and everything, whatever that's called now.
And most importantly, we're back here in a couple hours reviewing Halloween Havoc. Hopefully, Megan doesn't send me to the vampire underworld after the show, but we lit tonight, man.
We will be back immediately following Halloween Havoc. Please tune in. And yes, Sean Ellis, new friend of the show with Aloha. Mahalo, you guys. Yes,
Thank
sir,
you,
my
brother.
friend, all day long. Everyone have a great Sunday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Smash that like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help us out a ton. And we'll talk to everybody soon.